I'm live. Grateful day. Welcome to the 44th episode of the Faith Forward Fearlessly podcast with the host, Jenée, your uplifter. Thank you so much for just coming in once again, like you always do. I appreciate you all. Of course, I empower former and transitioning professionals and entrepreneurs navigating the complex balances of life, commitments, and growth, guiding them to conquer overwhelm with unwavering integrity and authenticity and perseverance, all anchored in faith. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. Today's t-shirt, you guys. Okay. So it's very simple today. It just simply says faith today. Doesn't have a bunch of words and all that. So for this t-shirt, what this shirt symbolizes for me is you need faith to conduct different facilitations that will just create successful workshops. So that's why I wore this today. And also, I'm all about my faith, especially with this podcast and just throughout life. Those of you who know me know this all too well. So you guys, so excited because today's episode is called From Concepts to Action, Facilitating Successful Workshops. So today we're going to explore how we can just simply take that spark of an idea and turn it into a full-blown, just impactful workshop that simply just engages, transforms, and even brings in revenue, okay? Who does not want that? I know I do, right? So for all you transitioning professionals, entrepreneurs, or even leaders, this episode is definitely for you, okay? So, maybe you've been sitting on a workshop I'm going to do one, but you're talking yourself out of it. Well, this episode is going to help you to kind of see past that fear, and you're going to get a lot of wonderful tips to help you just get through it, okay? So today, you guys, I have an amazing guest, okay? And so I am so honored to introduce our esteemed guest, Keisha L. Blair, the electrician, you guys. She doing it, okay? So Keisha, let me give you guys just a little bit about her. Keisha is a certified extreme execution coach and a corporate trainer, you guys. Alpha Intuition podcast host and a youth mentor with a unique journey that began as an electrician, that's huge, and led to shattering glass ceilings in leadership. She is simply the deal, you guys. So as the #1 life balancing coach, Keisha empowers individuals to become the CEO of their lives, okay? Just blending practical strategies with transformative insights on navigating the AI-resistant careers, personal growth, and leadership. The woman is spectacular, okay? So Keisha also mentors just future leaders and entrepreneurs through the Light Memphis, which pretty much equips brown and black youth with tools, skills, and a mindset needed to not only become successful entrepreneurs, but also to compete in the job market. That is so amazing, right? And to pursue and continue education or even training and lead opportunity-filled lives. That is spectacular. So she continues to simply inspire them to excel in every aspect of life. We need that big time, all right? So please join me in welcoming Keisha L. Blair, the electrician. Let me get her on here. Put it in the chat. Welcome her in. Go. All right. Yes. Hi, Keisha.
Hey, can you hear me?
I
Okay,
can.
great.
Welcome. Thank you
Welcome.
so much for
Thank you.
joining us. I appreciate you. Now, I've already told a lot of great things about you, but tell people where they can contact you or get in touch with you, or is there anything you want to give them in the start about you?
Yeah, so you can always contact me on IG, which my handle is Keisha underscore the underscore electrician. And yes, I am a real electrician. I've been an electrician for 30 years. Or you can go to my website, which is KeishaLBlair.com. That's KeishaLBlair.com.
All right, great. Anything else you want to put out there about yourself real quick? You'll be able to do it at the end
Well,
too.
I think you did a great job. No. You did an excellent job. I appreciate that intro. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. All right, well, then let's get started. To guide our discussion today, there are some giftful questions that I am so eager to explore with our esteemed guest, Keisha the electrician. All right, so gift number one. So, Keisha, workshops can be sometimes, they can feel like a little theatrical. So, how do you ensure just like participants move concepts to actionable steps by way of like strategy that actually
Mhm.
helps bridge that gap?
Yeah, so one of the things that I do to make sure that people can actually use what they learn in the workshops is I try to keep them light, fun, and I try to give them takeaways so that they can take with them once they leave to implement whatever we've talked about during the workshop. And then I try to just include group activities to make sure that they talk to each other, to make sure that they remember what they learned because of the hands-on activities that they did in the workshop.
Okay, that is fantastic. All right, that's so great. All right, so we'll move on to gift number two. And gift number two is, what are the key elements you focus on when like planning a workshop to simply guarantee
Mhm.
that it's both engaging and results driven? Just simply to like, in order to keep attendees motivated throughout it, because we all need that help.
Well, the biggest thing that I do, one of the things that I don't do is I don't talk the entire time. I try to make sure that I ask questions, that I incorporate feedback. And then the biggest thing is that I try to make sure that I have fun activities to where they can get up and move around like every 30 to 45 minutes because nobody wants to be sitting down for like an hour to 2 hours at a time. And for me, that concept really came from a workshop that I went to. It was actually, it was a 3 day workshop, 8 hours a day, and we sat there at the table the entire time just listening. And I was like, "Oh my God, if I ever have an opportunity to do a workshop, I'm going to make sure that I don't do this to my participants to where they're just sitting here just listening because they're really not even paying attention at that point. They're just waiting for the time to go by so that they can get out of the workshop." So one thing I'll try to do once again is make sure that I keep the activities fun and interactive so that they can move around and participate.
That sounds amazing. I know I would definitely want to come to yours then, because I've been to many also where I was sitting there like, oh my goodness, this is an all day thing. I'm a little tired anyway.
Yes.
So that is so good. So good. All right. Gift number three. So when facilitating the actual workshop for like diverse groups, that can be very challenging, obviously, because it's diverse, right? And everybody's different. But like, how do you tailor your actual approach to ensure that like everyone, regardless of their background or their skill level, because everybody learns it different in different ways and different paces, right? So how do you like make that an actionable, can you like take actionable insights away from like that experience? Can you just, how do you go about that?
So one thing I try to do, especially in a diverse setting, well, first of all, let me just say I love those type of groups because not everybody knows the same thing. People come from different backgrounds, and I don't think I mentioned this, but I do a lot of training for corporate teams. So when you have people that come from different groups and you put them all together, they're going to have a different answer basically to every question because of where they come from and what their skill is and what their background is. So what I try to do is I try to first of all mix up the teams or mix, if they're at tables, whatever the case may be, because people are going to always want to come in and sit with the people that they know. So
Yeah.
I try to encourage people to sit with someone that they don't know, talk to people that they don't know, and then also I try to once again incorporate activities to where they have to participate with other team members that they're not familiar with. So therefore, once they leave, they can actually have something new and a different type of strategy that they didn't have before they walked in the room.
Okay, great. Is there a particular activity that you can think of off the top of your head that you've actually done?
I've done a lot of them, but it just depends on the workshop because I have several different workshops that I do. But if let's just say if I'm doing a workshop on time management, I try to just incorporate the workshop to where excuse me, I try to make the activity relevant
Right.
to whatever that workshop is. Like I could think of one, oh my gosh, that I did on time management to where it was basically to where they had to build a tower out of whatever material that I gave them, but they had a certain amount of time to do it. And then if, I had one where I incorporated planning and scheduling with the time management. So I incorporated that into my activity as well to where they only had a set amount of time that they had to do it because they had to plan it and then they had to do the activity and then they had to make sure that they had the concept. So I try to make sure whatever I have the workshop, even if it's more than one activity, excuse me, more than one topic, I
Mhm.
try to make sure that I mix and mingle them in. So therefore, once they leave, they'll think about that activity so they can take that and replicate it in their own work groups.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. And then that helps them to like
Mm-hmm.
just think about things, have that structure, as well as know that, but there's a time limit. You know what I mean? So that, all right, great. So gift number 4. What techniques do you use to help like participants implement what they've learned after the workshop ends by way of like follow-up strategies that can help them to be effective?
Yep. So once again, from it, because the activities are huge, because that kind of helps to solidify what they did and it helps it sink in so that they can remember what they learned. Because like if you're just talking at somebody, you're talking at them. You're not really talking to them because they're not participating. It's just a one-sided conversation. So that's why I try to include those activities, and I always try to give takeaways just to make sure that they have something, whether it's either a feedback form or an action form or just some type of plan that they can use so they feel great about once they leave. They're empowered to go and try to take these same activities or even take this workshop and try to use it with their team members once they get back to their environment.
Okay. Wonderful. So, as a facilitator, do you allow them to like contact you later on for certain things in case they want to like dive deeper,
Oh
you
yeah,
know, into
absolutely. I try to always give them my contact information. I leave that with them. But even if they want to, if they forget a step or want to contact me after, by all means, yeah, they're more than welcome to send me an email or a text message, or they can even call me to ask me about how they would go about maybe tweaking it just to make sure that it works for their
that's
teams.
amazing. Okay, I can see that because you're a very inviting person like myself. So, wonderful. All right, we're at the last gift. So, gift number 5.
Mhm.
Someone new to an actual workshop facilitation, what are the top 3 tips you would give them to simply ensure that the workshop leads to a meaningful action? I'm all about taking action, right?
Yeah.
Not just information overload. What are the
Mhm.
tips that you would give them?
So for somebody who's never done a workshop before and they're looking for different things that they can do to make sure that they have a meaningful and impactful workshop, I would say the very first thing, just make it
Mhm.
fun because the funner it is, the more participation you'll have from the people that you have in the workshop. And then just keep it simple. Don't try to overthink it. Keep those activities coming and make sure that you focus on the just the relevant topic. Try to make those activities to where they lean back on just the different things and the action items that you talked about in the workshop. And then number 3, I would say just make sure that you give them a plan to lead with so that they can implement that workshop in their work group once they get back.
Amazing. Okay, great. That was wonderful 3 tips for this type of thing because I think I'm going to eventually one day be doing a workshop. So I'll probably be looking out like, Keisha, help me out.
That's right.
For sure. Okay. Phenomenal. So I am so very grateful to have had Keisha, the electrician, as our special guest today. Keisha, is there anything else that you would just like to tell the entrepreneurs out there? Just helpful tip or anything?
Oh my goodness, I would
Even
just say, well, first of all, just remember that when you're doing a workshop, it's about the people in the room and it's not about you. So just remember that as you go through it, and make sure that before they leave, that they understand the information that you've given them, because you don't want anybody to walk out of that room and not really understand what the meaning was of the workshop. So, like I mentioned, I do a lot of corporate workshops, but my two that I do the most are my CEO mindset and then my leadership launchpad. So the CEO mindset is really more towards a one-on-one, and the leadership launchpad is for the corporate teams. So, yep. Once again, if you guys want to look at some of my information, by all means, you can go to my handle, Keisha underscore the underscore electrician, and just click on the links, and you can go to my website. And I think you mentioned my podcast. So my podcast that I have, Alpha Intuition. Right now, I'm in my corporate relationship
what's
season. So I'm off the top corporate. It's Alpha Intuition. And my season one was about helping men to crack the crazy girl code. Season two is helping people to crack the corporate relationship code. So this is season two. But you can go back and watch those episodes on season one and look at some of those different tools and practical tips that I gave to people in for relationship advice. So, yeah.
fabulous. Okay, you guys. Or I'm following her as well. So you can always go to my page, find her, Keisha the electrician, and start following her as well and reach out by all means. Keisha, thank you so very much for blessing my podcast as my guest. Your wisdom today was great. So very helpful. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Jenée. I appreciate you for having me on. Thank you, thank you,
Of
thank you.
course. So you can just sign off because I
Okay.
continue and a few more gifts as well to close it out, or and you can come back on however you want to do it.
Yeah, I got you. All right. Peace, girl.
Thanks. Bye. All right. So, you guys, let's remember to follow and put to action Keisha Blair's, the electrician's, wise suggestions. But also, here are four of my own giftful tips. You know, I like to give giftful tips as well for facilitating successful workshops. Gift number one: the power of workshops in your business or career. So, workshops are more than just a teaching moment, okay? They're a tool for connection, influence, and transformation. If you're transitioning from an actual corporate role or traditional job, into like entrepreneurship, obviously, workshops can actually provide a platform to leverage your expertise in just a new and exciting way. All right. So they allow you to share your knowledge while building your personal brand and credibility, which is very important. Also, workshops are also a stepping stone. That's what I see it as, a stepping stone that can simply help you build relationships with potential clients. All right. They can help you gain recognition in your actual field, which is so very important, and even create a loyal following for just like future endeavors like coaching, consulting, and even just simply launching a product. You might have a product out there, right? All right. So, gift number two is how to transition from concept to execution. You know, I'm all about that action, like I said earlier with Keisha, the electrician. So, it's easy to get stuck in the planning phase. All right. Know that. Many people just dream up like amazing workshops, but they struggle to actually put their ideas into action. I know I did it first, right? So the key to start with a clear and actionable objective, that is the key. That will help you tremendously. And just simply ask yourself, like, what do you want like participants to actually learn in these workshops? How do you want them to feel or achieve by like the end of the workshop? And that'll be That's huge. You want to know about what's going to help them out for the most part. Okay. Let me give you an example. So if you're a marketing professional, transitioning into like freelance consulting, like your workshop might aim to actually teach small business owners how to build a brand strategy that actually converts to leads, right? Who don't want leads? I'm always looking for leads for my three businesses, okay? So, but know that the clearer the objective, the easier it comes to like break it down into like that, the manageable parts of the objective. That's what's really, really going to be helpful. And then once your actual objective is clear, outline the actual flow of like that actual workshop. All right. From the introduction, the core content, the activities themselves, all the way to the Q&A. All right, all the questions and answers and the actual conclusion. That's going to help out people very much. All right. So this structure, doing it this way, actually keeps you on track. And it ensures that the attendees walk away with true value, which is what you want in the end. All right. Okay. Gift number 3. I think there's only 4. So 3 is engagement, the heart of successful workshops. All right. So engagement is everything, you guys. People attend workshops to learn, but they stay engaged when like the content is very dynamic, interactive, like Keisha said earlier, and relatable. Very, very important. Needs to be relatable. Okay. So this is not a lecture that you're going to be putting on. It's an opportunity to simply create a dialogue, and also simply just incorporate like the hands-on activities. I am what you call a hands-on learner and a hands-on teacher. So if you can relate, put relate in the chat. That's how I learn and that's how I lead. Okay. So have those different discussions. You can do polls or quizzes. These things can just bring the workshops to life. All right. So keep those things in mind. Also, in a virtual setting, tools like breakout rooms while you're all on that call, and just again, having live polling could actually increase the participation within your actual groups and things that you're doing in these workshops. All right. Also, storytelling. Storytelling, you guys, is huge when it comes to workshops. All right. It's a very, very powerful tool. People connect with stories more than like that dry general information, because for one, you guys, people are nosy. They are nosy. So for you to tell your story, make sure it's authentic, but for you to tell your story and you're being real about it, they're all in. That will help you tremendously. Okay. I think this is actually my favorite one, is that whole storytelling. So let your audience simply see your actual journey, your wins, and your failures. That's important as well. You guys have seen me crying here like twice, and I'm on my 44th episode today. So again, tell them about your failures or your fears and things that are going on, and everything in between. It's all right. You got this. All right. So last but not least is gift number 4, dealing with nerves and building confidence. All right. I didn't always have confidence. I know a lot of you guys who know me are like, Jenée, yes, what? You're just like outgoing. Okay, thank you for that. But I didn't always have it. I'm trying to tell you. So but just know that public speaking anxiety, you guys, is real. It is so real. I personally had it a few times, even now. actually starting speaking because I knew I had an actual fear of speaking in general and overall when I first started, even with this podcast, you guys. So, but it shouldn't stop you from running a great workshop, okay? Even seasoned professionals get nervous. So know that. So don't feel like you're alone because you're not at all. All right. Just know that preparation is the key to fear. That's what helped me. Know your material inside and out as much as you can. All right. And the more familiar you are with your content, the more comfortable you'll feel delivering it. So helpful. If you can relate, put relate in the chat. Start with smaller audiences as well, if you can, just simply to build like your own confidence, right? Host workshops with friends, family, even, or a small networking group that can really, really help you just start. It's a starting point. Doing something is better than nothing. So, with each success, though, your confidence will simply grow by doing these things. Hope all of these tips have helped you. I know they've helped me and they still do. So I'm always telling myself, Jenée, do these things. Start where you're at. And that's what I simply do. And it works. So you should try it. All right. Time for the challenge. So today, I challenge you to simply write down an idea for an actual workshop, okay, that you've been sitting on. I know you guys are like, oh, I've been wanting to do a workshop or a training. Do it, okay? You've been sitting on it, but now take action to move it forward for yourself. Do it for you if nobody else, all right? People are waiting to hear from you. Trust me. And you have a lot to say. So just do it already. I always say that, right? It will help you move forward in your business and life along your journey. You guys will be amazed. You'll be asking yourself, what took me so long? So go ahead and get that workshop started, okay? Um, but just to give you a few more tips, whether it's writing an outline of with this challenge or scheduling a small session even of a few people, just see who attends and still do it like you have a million people attending. I don't care if two people attended, you and your bestie, whoever, do it like you have a million people sitting there because people are going to see it eventually, okay? And then just brainstorm also. Brainstorming is very, very important and very, very helpful. Brainstorm the actual outcomes you want to create. Like, what do you want to see from all of this? And then put it into action. Action beats procrastination, you guys. Let me say it again. Action beats procrastination every time. I'm telling myself that too, just so you know. So just keep that in mind and take that challenge, you guys. Feel free to let me know if you do that. I would love to cheer you on. All right. So as we wrap up this episode, I hope you're walking away feeling empowered and ready to take action, all right, on that actual workshop idea. You've been thinking about it, so just make it happen already, okay? Don't let anything get in your head, get in your way. Just put it down, focus on a date, put it down for yourself and say, this is what I'm doing at this time, put it out there. And you know what? Let me know. If I'm available, I'll even join it. How about that? I'm going to be cheering you on, all right? Remember, every successful workshop starts with a clear idea and the courage to bring that idea to life. All right. Whether you're battling nerves, because I've been there, I already know, figuring out the best way to structure the actual content, or simply just looking for ways to monetize your own efforts. All right. Know that you are capable, you guys, of creating something so very impactful. All right. So just step forward in faith and let the process unfold. Trust the process from the start. Okay. So, you guys, we've reached the end of this episode, but I want to ask you again to please join our Empowered and Crowned Facebook group. You guys know I started this about now it might be like 2 weeks ago, where we uplift each other and share stories of faith and resilience. It's a space where you'll find encouragement and support, okay, from like minded women who are all walking boldly in their purpose. Amazing, phenomenal people, you guys. You'll find the link to join in the Facebook group in the bio. And in this caption of this episode, I'll put it there again as well. But I can't wait, you guys, to welcome you into this amazing group of intelligent driven, faith driven at that women, you guys. So hopefully you'll join. It says, what's the name of the group? Empowered and Crowned. That's the name of the group. Someone just asked me that. Okay. Yep, it's right in the Facebook group, because you can only really have groups in Facebook. I don't think you can do it yet in Instagram. So that's where it's at. And you obviously know how to get in touch with me. DM me and I can shoot it to you if you can't find it. Okay. Um, Thank you for that. So as always, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode, the 44th one, you guys. Woo! Who knew? Who knew? If you about to start a podcast, do it. So fabulous. Thank you for joining this Faith Forward Fearlessly podcast episode. I appreciate you all. As always, again, do not forget to follow for ongoing inspiring content, okay? Remember, walk by faith, not by sight, all right? And always lead fearlessly. Yes, all right. Until next time, have a blessed day and please a prosperous year on purpose. I'm Jenée Hudson, the Uplifter. Later. Be blessed.